Welcome to The Explainer. We are jumping straight into a seriously fascinating thought experiment today, based on a recent essay called A Unified Planet, The Case for Earth. We're going to unpack some major arguments about humanity's future, and honestly, it might just completely challenge how you think about our biggest modern ambitions. Let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Former US President Ronald Reagan once threw out this wild idea. He suggested that humanity might actually finally drop all its petty differences and recognize our common bond if we were suddenly faced with an outside, universal threat. Think of your classic sci-fi alien invasion scenario. The whole idea was that our global divisions would just instantly dissolve in the shadow of a threat from the stars. But the source text points out a pretty massive irony here. We really don't need visitors from another galaxy to test this theory.
Section 1. The alien threat. The crisis is already here. We spend so much time looking up at the sky, waiting for some massive unifying event, right? But the existential crisis capable of bringing humanity together, it doesn't require flying saucers. It's actually been right under our feet since birth. We are a species with one address. Think about that for a second. If you were a human being, Earth is literally the only place in the entire known universe where you could have biologically emerged. And because of that profound fact, every single one of us has to be deeply invested in the survival of this specific world. The argument here is that we shouldn't just view ourselves as members of separate nations or different tribes, but quite literally as a unified species sharing exactly one permanent address.
Moving on to Section 2, the Mars distraction, escape versus preservation.
So, despite having exactly one home, our collective imagination has kind of drifted, hasn't it? We're suddenly obsessed with colonizing Mars as this planetary backup plan. But the text frames this growing enthusiasm as a seductive form of surrender. And you might be wondering, why surrender? Well, because planning a grand exit strategy to the Red Planet is basically a way of quietly declaring that our current problems right here on Earth are just way too hard to fix. The exit door starts looking a whole lot more appealing than the immense, messy effort required to actually repair and preserve the planet we're already standing on. So, the crucial point is this. Exploration is noble. Abandonment is not. Now, to be clear, the author isn't anti-space at all. Reaching for the stars is a beautiful, deeply human ambition. But when that exploration secretly doubles as a backup plan to just abandon our home, that becomes a massive failure of responsibility. Leaving Earth behind simply because things got a little too difficult isn't a victory, it's giving up.
Which brings us to Section 3, the terraforming paradox, the logic of planetary defense.
And this brilliantly illustrates the huge contradiction right at the heart of our space-age dreams. Let's look at the goal to terraform Mars. Just think for a second about the bottomless financial resources and the multi-generational willpower it would take to make a literal dead rock livable. We're talking about manufacturing an entire atmosphere from absolute scratch. Now contrast that staggering effort with protecting Earth. If we have the technological genius to engineer a breathable world on Mars, we absolutely 100% possess the capacity to protect the living planet that is already doing that exact work for free. The exact same innovation needed for Mars is more than sufficient to fortify our coastal cities or stabilize our own global climate.
Ambition without priority is just distraction wearing a spacesuit. I love that line. And it's not a rejection of human ambition, it's a demand for priority. True innovation absolutely has to be aimed at our most pressing immediate needs. We're talking about deflecting an extinction-level asteroid or building universal pandemic infrastructure. If we aren't prioritizing the home world first, all our grand space ambitions are really just highly engineered distractions.
All right, Section 4, real planetary threats, the solvable crises. So, let's bring our focus firmly back down to Earth. What are the actual, non-hypothetical threats that are demanding our unified attention right now? First up, climate disruption. And look, this isn't some far-off future problem. It's actively driving mass migration and completely reshaping global agriculture in real time. Second, pandemic preparedness. As we have all very recently experienced, our fragmented nation-by-nation response systems leave the entire species completely vulnerable. And third, asteroid deflection. It is a genuine planetary risk, and yet we currently have zero unified global response plan for it. The key takeaway here? These are totally solvable problems, but they cannot be fixed by any one nation acting alone. To solve these crises, we desperately need what the text defines as coordinated commitment. Now, it's a tall order, for sure. It requires us to set aside our drawn borders and our individual ideologies in favor of a massive, shared global effort. But historically,
Well, the essay points out we've really only managed to summon this level of unity when the immediate alternative was total annihilation.
That brings us to our final part, Section 5, our only true interest, one fragile sphere.
And this brings us full circle right back to Reagan's original truth. The crisis is already here, and frankly, it completely ignores the private ambitions of billionaires building rockets. Defending Earth isn't just a matter of national interest, it is literally the only true interest that matters. Just think about the number. 1. We have exactly one world, one cradle that nurtured us, one climate system that sustains us, and one remarkably fragile sphere carrying absolutely every single story humanity has ever told. We do not have a second chance planet.
And so we are left with this incredibly powerful closing question. You see, the issue isn't whether we have the technology or the wealth to defend our planet. We have absolutely proven that we do. The real question is, will we finally decide to act like a species that understands what it stands to lose? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this perspective has sparked some new ways of thinking about our shared home. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.